This is a download from BFM 89.9, the business station.
Alliance Bank presents you The Breakfast Grill. Top interviews you can't afford to miss on BFM 89.9, the business station.
On The Breakfast Grill today, Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys, which has been hailed as a technological leader, not only in its home country, India, but also globally. Infosys, since its founding in 1981, has grown to be a company with almost 180,000 employees worldwide and a market capitalization of $40 billion. Mr. Murthy, Infosys achieved rapid growth by using cheap Indian IT engineers to gain access into the US IT consulting market. Can this trend continue?
Well, first of all, let me correct you a little bit.
Okay.
It is not cheap. It is talent that provides value for money.
Right. Okay.
After all, let's remember that the focus of the whole world is to provide better and better value for money. And that's what Infosys has been doing. That's what the Indian software industry has been doing. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Second, whether this trend will continue, I believe so, because there is so much focus on productivity among Indian companies. There's so much focus on using the power of automation to reduce the cost to the customer, to provide better value to the customer. Second, there is so much competition amongst our customers in the marketplace. Therefore, every one of our customers want to use the power of innovation to create a competitive advantage in the marketplace through business rules with their customers, with their employees, investors, etc. That means building new functionalities, leveraging the power of new technology, etc. So therefore, I believe that the opportunities for software services companies will continue to be there for a very, very long time. They will be there as long as we, the service providers, will focus on providing better business value to our customers, as long as we focus on better productivity, as long as we focus on better talent creation, as long as we focus on better competition. That once we do this, I believe that there is considerable opportunity for Indian software industry for years to come.
Now, last year, we saw a little bit of attrition that was going on in Infosys, and since then, that has stopped. But I suppose a lot of observers say that the cost of maintaining staff at Infosys has gone up. What would you say is the gap between Indian engineers and those in the United States right now, the pay gap?
No, I tell you, it's in the U.S., on a cost-to-the-company basis, probably it costs about $100,000 per year or something per professional, $100,000 to $150,000. On the other hand, in India, it could be somewhere around $20,000 to $30,000. But when you load all other costs of technology, cost of infrastructure, cost of tools, cost of quality initiatives, all of that, then I would say that the Indian companies provide an advantage of somewhere between 30 to 60% price advantage to our customers.
Now, of course, talking about India, Narendra Modi, who became India's Prime Minister a little over a year ago, has promised a lot of economic reforms. Do you think that the wage bill of Indian employees, especially those that are hired by Infosys, this will be pushed up?
Yes and no, because we have been doing this Make in India stuff for the last 35 years. right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole raison d'etre of Infosys was to produce software in India for use by customers abroad. Today, we are somewhere around $9+ billion. So we have grown a lot, and we have run a long marathon. Therefore, we understand this equation extremely well. And I believe that as long as we focus on value for money to our customer, as long as we focus on business value leverage to our customer, that is value we provide to the customer divided by the price we charge from the customer, I believe that we will continue to be successful.
Now, how do you think Mr. Modi's reforms will benefit Infosys and the Indian IT sector in general?
Well, I think, first of all, the Indian companies, by and large, have focused on export market. But however, in the last 5 to 8 years, the focus has now in some way shifted to the Indian market. There are huge projects, hundreds of millions of dollars projects that are being executed in the IT area for Indian government, both at the federal level and at the state level. Now, the Digital India project of Mr. Modi intends to cover all the villages in India by internet. It intends to bring the power of e-governance to every part of India, north to south, east to west, etc. Therefore, we believe that if Digital India project were to succeed, were to take off like Mr. Modi wants, there will be a huge opportunity for Indian software companies.
Now, India is notorious for its red tape. As the leader of a global IT company, which needs to be on the pulse of global technological improvements, do you think Mr. Modi is doing enough to improve business conduciveness in India?
Well, I think he started off well. There have been some initiatives, but I agree with you. I think we still need to do a lot because other countries are moving very fast. Therefore, we have to move faster. So, I agree with you that we in India have to do a lot more to reduce friction to business. Absolutely.
On the Breakfast Grill today, Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys, a global IT consultancy company. Up next, what forced Mr. Murthy to return from retirement? This morning on the Breakfast Grill, Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys, which is a global IT consultancy company. Mr. Murthy, in August last year, Vishal Sikka was the first CEO who wasn't appointed from the ranks of Infosys. Since then, Infosys' fortunes have been on an ebb and flow, and this coincided with the termination of your retirement to go back to Infosys. Did you, on hindsight, make a good decision in appointing Mr. Sikka?
Oh, I think so. You see, when I went back in 2013 at the invitation of the board, I had 3 charters. One, to improve the revenue growth rate. Second, improve profitability growth rate. And third, to find a successor to Mr. Shibulal. These were the 3 important decisions, important activities that I had to take. We doubled the growth rate from 5.8% the previous year to 11.6% during the time I was the executive chairman. We improved our profitability bottom line by 200 basis points. In other words, we added approximately about 160 to 180 million dollars to U.S. to the bottom line. And finally, we selected a very smart CEO in Dr. Vishal Sikka. Dr. Vishal Sikka is a PhD in computer science in the area of artificial intelligence from Stanford. He was the CTO of SAP. He was on the executive board of SAP. He had invented HANA, which is an in-memory database for SAP, which has been a huge success. So therefore, after talking to him in detail, we all felt that he was an ideal candidate, and he has been working very hard. He has done a good job, and we believe that right now he's laying foundation for Infosys to get back to its glory days of 25% growth rate or whatever, industry, better than industry level growth rates, and also industry level profitability.
Now, Mr. Sikka, of course, spends a lot of his time in the Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and also commutes between there and India. Do you think that the heart and the soul of Infosys, is that in Silicon Valley or is that in India or both?
No, we are a global company. 98% of our revenues come from outside India. About 20% of our employees are outside India. Our sales force is primarily outside India.
Mm-hmm.
We are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Originally, we are listed on NASDAQ. Now, that has been moved to New York Stock Exchange. And majority, and about probably 50% of our shares are held by foreigners, including the foreign institutional investors, and therefore it is legitimate to say that Infosys, being a global company, has its heart in every market, and primarily the U.S. because that's our major market. So therefore, Dr. Vishal Sikka spending time in Palo Alto and in India every month, as well as with customers, is a very, very right thing to do.
He also wants to raise Infosys revenue to about $20 billion in 2020 from less than $9 billion right now. Under his Renew and New policy, is this something that is too ambitious?
Again, I am not very much in touch with what happens. I am not at all in touch with what happens inside Infosys. So therefore, I am not in a position to comment on it because, there must be a lot of things that he's doing to prepare the company for his ambitious goal. I wish him the best of luck, and I want him to succeed. And I'm always there to provide whatever help he wants in achieving his targets.
Okay, just to tap into your insights and experience of what is going on right now, how do you think the current global economic turmoil will play into the future growth plans of Infosys and of the industry as a whole?
Well, the reality is simply this. Our customers are in a very competitive marketplace. Their focus is providing better value for money to their customers, which means they have to get better value for money from their vendors like us. So companies like Infosys, which focus on providing better and better and better value for money to our customers, using the power of innovation, power of technology, power of the global delivery model, I believe that we will be in a position to add value to our customers even in these tough and competitive days. In fact, we would thrive in a very competitive situation because our specialty is to provide better and better value for money.
Now, we've seen the rise of mobile and cloud computing, also a rising visibility given to ideas like artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things is being talked about more and more. What are some of the ideas that the IT industry should have for the future? What are you foreseeing in your crystal ball?
Well, I think they've already done a lot of work on what we call SMAC, social media, mobile applications, and big data and analytics. and of course, the cloud computing. Therefore, I would say that Internet of Things, which is all about bringing the power of Internet to physical machines, to physical gadgets, that is a big area of opportunity. Second, I would say that given that we are generating huge amounts of data, extracting insights out of such huge amounts of data is another important area for us. And given that we have moved to anywhere, anytime, any distance computing, thanks to mobility, I think mobility becomes a very important thing. And given that social media has now become such an important aspect of the lives of the younger people, ability to connect social media with large corporations, with the databases of large corporations, with the IT back-end machines of large corporations, IT back-end systems of large corporations becomes very, very important. So therefore, I would say that Indian IT companies are very busy in doing all of this.
And for that purpose also, Infosys has set up a $500 million fund to invest in startups. Can you give us an insight into the kind of things that are being invested in?
I can't because I am an outsider.
Right.
The day I left Infosys, my non-disclosure agreement came to an end, and therefore I am not privy to all the plans they have, and therefore I am not in a position to comment on it.
Okay. Mr. Murthy, I am just wondering whether you actually invest your money in stocks and whether you think that the tech stocks right at this point in time are very, very frothy and with valuations that are very expensive.
Well, the reality is simply this, that because this is the age when technology has made huge leaps, this is the age when technology is improving productivity, this is the age when technology is making companies more and more competitive, I suppose that it is natural technology companies to have a higher price-to-earning ratios, and therefore, I suppose that this will be justified in the years to come. I mean, look at well-known companies like Google, Facebook, etc. These are all leaders in their own respective places. 10 years ago, if anybody had said that will they be able to generate that kind of income, people would have had some difficulty in accepting that. But today they have done that. So therefore, I think we will have to understand that the world is moving in the direction of technology, and they're inventing new business models, they're inventing new sources of revenue, and therefore, I suppose they deserve those valuations. After all, value P is all about future, right?
Yeah. Also, when we think of India, we also think of growth, and with growth, we think of China as well. And we know that China is slowing down. What do you foresee about where the kind of trajectory that India would take? Would it have the same kind of growth as China had in the past for India?
Well, first of all, India is several years behind China in its growth curve. And therefore, it is only expected that India will grow fast, perhaps faster than China, because China has already become the second largest economy in the world, and we have quite a headroom for growth. So therefore, India will certainly grow well, and that's something that's normal.
Now, still on the comparison with those two countries, we've seen huge tech names coming out of China. We hear about Alibaba, WeChat, and so on. Whereas for India, such big names in internet tech sector is apart from consulting like Infosys and computer engineering. India does not have such names. We do have Indian nationals helming a lot of very big tech companies like Google and Microsoft. But do you see India coming up with their own big internet giants?
Well, let's remember that Alibaba and other companies, they're all primarily for China, by and large. It's in Chinese, by and large.
That's right.
On the other hand, India is focused on export market, okay, by and large. 90+% of revenues of most Indian software companies come from outside India. Now, companies like Flipkart and Snapdeal, etc., they're all doing what Alibaba did for China. Therefore, I believe that you will see from companies like Flipkart and Snapdeal, etc., companies that will serve the Indian market and grow very fast and have good valuations, etc.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys, on this morning's Breakfast Grill. And if you'd like to catch Narayana Murthy, he will be speaking at the World Capital Markets Symposium organized by the Securities Commission, happening on 3rd to 4th September 2015. I'm Julian Ng for BFM 89.9.
The BFM Breakfast Grill was brought to you by Alliance Bank. Banking made personal. A total banking relationship that rewards you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to BFM.MY or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9, the business station.